My friends of the Odyssey community, I know that these are uncertain and unprecedented times with so much that is rapidly changing about the way we do life, about the way we engage community, certainly about the way we engage learning. That is changing in a form and fashion none of us could have foreseen. And so we're all having to make decisions in real time that require an unprecedented amount of clarity and thought as we're trying to navigate this really new terrain that we find ourselves in. And so, in the midst of all of that, I just wanted to address you and chat with you about a few things. One, of course, as you know, we have navigated ourselves into a new course for all of us to engage called Hope in Troubled Times. We believe that right now, with so much that is uncertain and unknown and so much that is still certainly swirling around us, that the most important thing for your child, the most important thing for your family, the most important thing for our community is not necessarily content or information or credits, but really what is needed now are the sustained practices of hope that always have supported and comforted us in times of trouble. And so we wanted to foster that conversation. We wanted to invite your students into that. We wanted to give on-ramps into thinking in hopeful ways that are full of hope in the midst of the times in which we find ourselves. And so you're going to be receiving more information about the details and logistics of that. I can tell you our faculty is working around the clock, quite literally giving up their spring break to recalibrate courses and to come up with new modes of learning and new ways of thinking and new ways of practicing civic discourse in the midst of, again, what are just unprecedented times. And so we thank you for your grace and peace as we navigate all of that. And I just want you to know that in the midst of all of this, your family's health and well-being is our top priority. And we mean that in all ways: mental, emotional, relational, certainly as well as physical. Again and again and again, we invite you to follow and heed the guidelines and recommendations set out by the CDC, by our federal, state, local authorities and health officials. Practice social distancing, certainly wash your hands, isolate yourselves as you need to, be safe, be smart right now. And we invite you to think about this time, not necessarily as a burden, but as a blessing in terms of an opportunity for your families to lean into things that maybe are typically busy and hectic schedules flow past and we forget to grab onto. Things like telling our stories to our kids, maybe telling them stories about their grandparents, telling them things that maybe they've never heard before, histories that they haven't engaged in, to practice new things, to play board games, to put puzzles together, to bake cookies. We also invite you in this time to practice just abundant generosity. Now is a great time to write letters again, not just emails, but write letters to friends and families, to call or Facebook grandparents or shut-ins that are alone right now. Do extraordinary acts of kindness, mow a neighbor's lawn, postmate a meal to somebody. Just find ways to cultivate and practice hope right now. That is what we are putting forth, and that's what we're inviting you into. We as a community consistently have been a hopeful people. This dream began in hope. It began with people who dared to believe that something new was possible. And so we continue to ask you to step into that and let us be a people who are doing small things with great love. Let us be a people who are calling out the best in each other as we navigate this time. We don't have all the answers. We don't know how things are going to unfold in the next hour, let alone day or weeks or months. There will be some difficult decisions ahead of us that we will have to make, but we just invite you to walk this out with grace and peace with us as we continue to hold our standard high of compassion and community and wisdom and care in all that we do. And so thank you for your flexibility and patience in the midst of all this. We are eternally grateful for the sacred privilege we have of doing life with you and your family. If you need anything from me, let me know. If I can be of help to you in any way in this process, let me know. And thank you again and again.